Hey guys, Mr. Plucker here, and I want to talk about how this is a pretty special week. First of all, we have an election happening tomorrow, and on the ballot, among other things, a decision for the next president of the United States. It's likely going to be a pretty wild day, and likely an interesting few weeks going forward, no matter what the outcome. To help us understand what to expect on Election Day, let's check out this quick video.
What happens on Election Day? Let's find out. A presidential election happens once every 4 years. And Election Day is always in November. And it falls on the first Tuesday that is after the first Monday of the month. So Election Day can fall anywhere between November 2nd and November 8th. On this day, everyone goes to the voting poll location. Some voters who can't make it to the voting booth and know beforehand are able to cast an absentee ballot prior to Election Day. Make sure you mail your ballot in before Election Day. You should check your state's laws for counting ballots. Each state is different. Once the voting polls are closed, each state will tally their results. And the results start coming in as everyone watches with anticipation, waiting to see who will win the election. If the election is too close to call, then it might be a few days or even weeks before we find out who won. I bet your parents are watching the news on election night to see who's winning the election. You should join them that night and see how it all works. And that's what happens on Election Day. If you want to learn more about the presidential election, we have a course at KidExplore.com that teaches you all about how elections work. It's in the link down below. Go check it out. I'll see you over there.
All right, so I know that is presented in pretty elementary terms, but it sums up what to expect pretty well. We have a very divided country right now with respect to our choices for president. Regardless, I want to share my expectation for all of you as things get underway. Be kind. We all have opinions and we all have different points of view. Be good to one another. Listen, consider, and then respect where one another is coming from. Don't seek to be understood. Seek to understand. Too many people are getting angry when others don't see things their way, and sadly, the election will go one way or another, which means no matter what happens, about half our country will not be happy. So let's be what the world needs right now and shine as Sager Raiders. Raiders rock. We are responsible. We own our voices and choices. We collaborate and we are kind. If you aren't sure what to do or how to respond, lean into rock. It won't let you down. But that's not all. This is also a special week because we have the chance to honor and remember our veterans. We often talk about how our veterans have given up so much to protect our freedoms, about the sacrifices they've made, and to appreciate all the freedoms we have and enjoy because of them. The cool thing is that tomorrow on Election Day, we're exercising one of the greatest gifts we have because of them, the right to vote and engage in our democracy. So cool. I'd like to share a special segment that may help you remember that there are veterans all around us and not to miss out on some of the opportunities you may have from day to day to learn and grow from them.
Gary Michael Rose was an Army medic in Vietnam. September 1970, he's in a 4-day battle in Laos. Day 2 of that battle, he gets hit by an RPG, rocket-propelled grenade. One side of his body is all torn to pieces. He's got a hole in his foot. His hand is mangled. He goes and finds a stick, and he uses that stick as a crutch for 2 more days as the battle continues. They think the fighting is over. So the helicopters come in to rescue those guys. First one lands, takes a bunch of guys out. Second one lands, takes a bunch of guys out. Third one lands. Gary Michael Rose is the last group there, right? They all get on the helicopter, start to take off. The helicopter gets shot down. He falls out of the helicopter before the helicopter crashes. He's lying on the ground and he sees the helicopter, and somehow it doesn't hit him. He gets up and continues to treat people. Nobody knew that story for 30 some odd years. It was classified mission. Nobody talked about it. Didn't know. He went and started working in the auto industry in Oklahoma. Nobody knew this guy's name. 47 years. 47 years. Longer than I've been alive. 47 years later, he receives the Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor, if you're in the military, there's no higher honor. That's the best it gets, right? And that's what he got for this. 4 days ago, I sat across from him, and he told me part of that story. And I asked him, when you talk to young people, what do you tell them? And he told me some version of this. And then I saw him tell this speech to a bunch of students at Baylor on Friday. And it goes something like this. So, everyone in the bleachers, imagine this. Imagine this. It is June 6th, 1944, and you're there. And you got a rifle strapped to your back. And you got ammunition. And you got enough food for maybe a day. And you got water. And that's about all you got. And you're climbing down a rope ladder and you're getting onto a small boat called a Higgins boat. And they're going to jam you in there with about 35 other people. And now you're heading toward the beaches of Normandy, France on D-Day. And you had a big steak dinner the night before. And it's been storming. So the water is rough, the water is rocky. You got people getting sick to your left and your right. And you're going to face a German army that's already been fighting for 6 years. Combat tested, battle hardened, and you're going in there. In the last 6 years, you've been in school, you've been on a farm, you've been in a factory. Most of you have never seen combat. In this scenario, percentage-wise, about 2 rows aren't going to make it through the day. Another 4 rows are going to get wounded. The rest of you, 75 years later, you're still going to be on that beach. Because when I talk to combat veterans all the time, we tell stories about veterans at News Channel 9. That's what I do. And what I hear over and over again, and I talked to Chris Linville. Where's Chris? Chris is over there. About this earlier. And I asked him, I said, how often do you think about the war? And he said, well, for years I didn't. But now that I get older and I'm around other Vietnam veterans, I think about it all the time. I hear veterans tell me I think about it every day. I go to sleep at night and it's in my dreams. You never forget it. It lives with you forever if you make it home. And I tell this story for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's powerful. It really kind of puts a finer point on what that was all about in some ways, in a very small way. And if anybody go on YouTube? Anybody? Yeah, look up Gary Michael Rose. He tells the story way better than I do. So check that out if you get a chance. He also makes a point too, right? All those men who came home after that, they built your schools, they built your roads, they built your sewer systems, they built your electric grids. They were mayors of cities, and they were congressmen and senators and presidents. But I also tell the story for this reason. When I came here today from Chattanooga, I got on 27, right? And I get off the exit here, and I get to Dayton Pike, and I take a right to get here, right? If I go left, what do I run into? Walmart, right? In the Walmart back there? There's a road back there by the Walmart. And there's a man there named Russell Piggott. Miss Jane Reynolds told part of his story earlier. 75 years ago, he was on one of those boats. I'm sitting across from a man who has received the highest honor that the military gives out. And he's telling me about a man who lives about a mile from here. Russell Pickett's story is amazing. 116th Regiment, 29th Division, Company A. If you Google Company A and you look at Company A D-Day, you're going to learn some stark realities about Company A. Russell Pickett was in Company A. The whole thing about the 2 rows that didn't survive the day, most of those guys, there were 200 of them, most of them died within minutes. They were the first ones on the beach within minutes. Company A, 96% of Company A, 96% of those 200 guys, so whatever the math teacher says that is, 190 some odd people, 96% of them were either killed or wounded. In the first 45 minutes of the battle, Mr. Pickett was wounded, went back in the battle, fought some more, got wounded again, went back, got patched up, went back into the war, got wounded again. He's eventually sent home to Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, and he lives here, and he's been here the last 75 years. Right here in our community. And the whole point of that, I'm going to leave you with this. If you know a veteran, there are veterans all around you. So many of these folks live right here with you in this town. If you know one, yes, thank them for their service. Tell them how much you appreciate them. But take some time to ask them about what they went through. I'm sure they'd love to tell you their story. And I guarantee you this, you'd be shocked by what you would learn.
All right, to wrap it up, we're going to provide you with an opportunity to share your appreciation and gratitude toward our veterans at lunch this week. We have cards that you can write a special message on or simply sign. Remember, veterans are all around us. They're in our communities, members of our families. Let's show them the appreciation they deserve by saying thank you and letting them know that their service has been appreciated. Have a great day, Raiders, and I will see you soon.